on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala!
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Just a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I guess it was Valentine's Day. And, you know, love is an important topic, whether you're a man or a woman, right?
Yeah.
Love is an important topic, whether you're 14 or 84, right? It's just part of life, you know? And romantic relationships hold us, you know, we're spellbound to movies and TV shows and books, and you went to see what did you see again?
Jersey Boys.
Jersey Boys. And my question to you was, was there a love story in there at all? Because I always think that's what holds people to a story. Mm-hmm. You said in that particular one there was minor love stories,
yeah, very minor,
but not like West Side Story or Romeo and Juliet
or
Titanic
or something. Or Titanic,
like that. Yeah. And then when you're in love and you get married, and and then you always hear people complaining, and you go, why? I mean, do you remember when you got married? You were in love. What happened? Mm-hmm. How did that all change? Dr. Margot E. Brown is on the phone. She's a licensed marriage family therapist. She's got her work cut out for her. Just with that, look at these credentials. She's the director of psychological health for Magellan Health as a civilian contractor for the United States Army Reserve. I bet you there's a lot of marital problems in the service, right?
I bet there is.
Oh my goodness, she conducts workshops and trainings with such topics as the stigma of mental health in the military. Why is it important to talk? Conflict resolution, codependency. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be all ears with this one. Her book is called Kickstart Your Relationship Now, Move On or Move Out. The 72-hour rule, a better way to relate. Dr. Margot E. Brown. Good morning, doctor.
Well, good morning to you, and thank you so much for inviting me in the show. I'm honored to be here. It's great.
Oh, it's our honor. Where are you calling from?
Well, actually, I live in California, but I'm traveling this week for the military, so I'm in New Orleans.
In New Orleans?
Yes.
I guess the weather's okay. No, you're getting bad weather, aren't you?
It's terribly cold. In California, it was 72, and here it's like 45 and 50. So.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't too good up there. Well, thank you for being on the air with us. Are you married?
I've been married, yes. I've been with my husband for 45 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I always say, a long-term relationship doesn't necessarily mean it's a good relationship, but in my case, I'm very blessed.
Okay, all right. Well, I was married. I'm not anymore. And I was married for 9 years, and it was over 25 years ago. Yeah, something
yes.
Like 24 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. I've been divorced for
24 years.
A very long time. But this is what I always look back at it. Let me just tell you the truth. I always look back at it. I wasn't a good husband. I was a good man. And I did everything right, but I was paying more attention to my career as what I really truly think I did wrong. And so I guess I can't blame my wife for saying, you know what, I'm done with this.
Well, it takes two, though. Both sides.
See, Robin's defending me. You see that? Robin is defending me. But I mean, looking back on it and analyzing it myself, I always say, well, I was paying more attention to my career. Just thought I'd tell you that.
Okay. Well, I think that's important feedback because you, first of all, own it. That's a huge piece of the puzzle. When people say, I own my part, this is what I did, or I know I could have improved on that, or I'm sorry, are we yelling? Am I yelling? I don't want to yell at you. So owning your piece of it is so huge because then it breaks down that whole process of people pointing the finger and blaming. And that is a real dance that they get stuck in. And I know you guys know this, but if you took your right hand or left hand and pointed your index finger, kind of like you're shooting a gun, your index finger, I want you to see your index finger pointing at the other person. There's three fingers. Your middle ring and baby finger are curled back and pointing at you.
Yes.
So you are totally dumping on the other person, and that's just not going to work.
Okay, but let's say, let me use my example because it's the only one I really know, just to ask you a question. Not that I really need the help because I'm fine. But let's say I was married for 9 years.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Let's say I came to you at year number 7, and I said I think everything's not going as well as I was hoping it would, and I think it's because of my career, and at the same time, if I back off of my career, that doesn't seem fair to everything that I've been working for. So what would your advice have been to me, since I know that was the problem?
Well, the first point was, like you said, to bring it up and speak out loud and turn to your partner and say, I don't feel close to you, or I'm not sure you're happy. You don't look happy. I'm not happy. Or we used to do things together and I noticed that we don't. And I own the fact that I'm just totally focused on my career. And how are you doing? What is it you need? And begin the dialogue. And it doesn't mean that she says, I want ABC, and you automatically do ABC. It means you begin to identify needs and wants. I know I sound like a therapist, I'm sorry. And then you negotiate that. So everything's up for negotiation. You can ask your partner for A, and he could go, well, of course, I love you. Or he could say, oh, well, let me think about it. That's a maybe. Or he could say no. I mean, there's a risk in asking, but if you don't ask, your partner's not a mind reader.
So what would happen in 72 hours, though? I don't understand the 72-hour part.
Okay. Well, the 72-hour rule is a two-part process, and I'll simplify it for you. It's basically language and it's time. So the first part of it is that in language, to use language that is here in this moment. It's a real simple concept, here and now. So with my partner, if I'm really upset, like, for example, I had one couple in therapy, and he turned to his wife on the couch, and he goes, if I've told you once, I've told you 19,000 times. And I said, stop, because the 19,000 times refers to the past. And secondly, it sounded very parental, and instead of being her parent, he needed to be her partner. So I said, what are you thinking and feeling right now? If you're upset now, turn to her and say what's happening to you right now on the couch. And so bringing the emotions and the language back in that moment. So, yeah, maybe he had the same gripe as 19,000 times ago, 2 months ago, 22 years ago, like one couple. But if he was really upset now, that's what she needs to hear, and that's what he needs to say. So language is very important. And the other piece of it is, well, let's see, I don't know, this is Thursday, morning? So I don't know what 72 hours, I think it would be like maybe Tuesday night or maybe Monday night, but whatever 72 hours ago is, when my husband would do something, if I'm upset and I'm stewing in it and I'm obsessing in it, whatever fancy word you want to give it, and I'm going over and over and over, it's really bugging me. At first it might have hurt me, and now I'm upset. And if I can't let it go, then I need to turn to him within 72 hours and say, Saturday night when you did blah, 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 that hurt me, and I've been thinking about it more and more, and now I'm upset, and I need you to know that. And that's okay, but not 2 weeks ago and 2 months ago, because people start keeping score and they harbor resentments, and then you're just burying things under the rug. So 72 hours is either let it go or bring it up.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. Well, what about some of the really serious infractions? Is that the right word? Like cheating or? I mean, I can't think of anything. Maybe. I can't think of anything worse than cheating. But which? I mean, what do you do with that? You found somebody cheating. What do you give them 72 hours?
Yeah, and then you tell them about it.
Well, you're not the first radio announcer to ask me that question. I'm glad you brought it up, because basically the 72-hour rule is a guideline to communicate better. And once the couple starts practicing it, and it's not that hard, they start being successful. They start having more and more conversations about what's going on now in their lives. And that is a foundation when they start trusting again the process and and themselves, that they're not going to explode, and their partner, that he or she's not going to explode. Then they go automatically. It's a really beautiful process. It's a magical thing. Couples take it all the way to the deeper level, and then they start doing the real work. So yes, you're going to talk about the past, but you bring it in the present in terms of what you're feeling now about talking about that past hurt, and you're not blaming when you do it.
So how do you it says move on or move out. What do you do if one partner wants to move on and one wants to move out?
Yeah, that's a tough one. And it could also be that one is outgrowing the other. It could be that one is stuck and pointing that finger saying, well, it's all your fault. You go to therapy. I'm not going to therapy. I had one husband tell his wife, he goes, I'd rather get divorced before I go to therapy. And, well, so guess what happened? And I'm not saying that therapy is totally the answer. In fact, my book, Kickstart Your Relationship Now, Move On and Move Out, is really it's a self-help book. It's a do-it-yourself couples therapy book. You can use it like a reference book. You can pick a chapter. You don't have to go from A to Z. but I recommend that you read a page a day and talk about it. You can even talk about how you disagree with Margot Brown. I don't care. At least you're not talking about diapers. You're talking about your relationship, and that's the beginning of the dialogue. And in answer to your question, I'll make it quick, that move on or move out can mean many things. It could mean you're moving on in yourself and growing within yourself and communicating that to your partner, and he or she starts to, respond to that, and you're both growing together. Or it could be that one person's stuck and you're going to therapy, you're reading self-help books, you're changing how you stop nagging, you're trying extra hard, you're even being kind and saying, thank you, sweetheart, put a card in his sock drawer, and he's still bringing up the past and saying, you're always doing this, and you go, I haven't yelled in 3 months, what are you talking about? And so there's this real disconnect, and someone really not making the effort to own their part, like you said at the beginning of this show. That I'm not saying it's an automatic you must move out. I'm just saying you have to either consciously say, I love her or him, and I'm going to continue to stay in this relationship because of ABC.
Yeah.
Or you might say, you know what, this isn't working, I'm moving out.
All right. We need to take a little break. Dr. Margot Brown is on the phone in cold New Orleans. Her book is called Kickstart Your Relationship Now, Move On or Move Out, the 72-Hour Rule, which I think now I get that, a better way to relate. So if you are in a relationship and you're at that impasse moment, this is maybe a good time to listen up and maybe get the book and call in if you want to. You can ask the doctor a question. The number is 622-9622. We'll take a break and be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be mostly cloudy today with a couple of showers, even a thunderstorm around it this morning. Highs will range from the mid and upper 60s in the northwest part of the zone to 74 along the coast. Mostly cloudy skies tonight with a couple of lingering showers along the coast. Lows ranging from 45 in the northwest part of the zone to the mid-50s along the coast. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness and breezy with a passing shower, highs in the mid and upper 60s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lunder.
So you need a credit card, but how do you choose? Let's compare the big banks to Florida Credit Union. They have rewards, and we do too. They have customer service. Hello, 24/7. They have celebrities. Hey, Danny. But with Florida Credit Union, there's no annual fee, no liability for fraudulent charges, and no 22% interest rates. Choose Florida Credit Union, and you'll not only have a great credit card, but you'll have the support and personal touch that the big banks, well, can't touch. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Since selfies are often shot from below, the neck looks either fattier or saggier from that angle. So more people are seeking under the chin or double chin lipo, chin implants, and neck lifts to remove excess skin. Sleep on it. Trying to force a resolution when you're both exhausted can make things worse. So try tart cherry juice if you have any issues with joint pain or inflammation, and you just might sleep better too.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Real estate is the largest and most personal investment that any of us will ever make. Be sure to tune in Tuesdays at 10 a.m. when Bob Kennedy, owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty, will be answering your questions and discussing real estate. So remember, that's Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Call 622-9622 with your questions. It pays to be an informed buyer or seller. This is news you can use from Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty and your friends here at WOCA.
12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Dr. Margot E. Brown is on the phone. She is a licensed marriage family therapist, among other credentials. Her book is called Kickstart Your Relationship Now, Move On or Move Out, the 72-Hour Rule, a better way to relate. Doctor, I have a question for you about the social message that men and women get about each other. If you were to believe Playboy magazine or movies like the 50 Shades of Grey, you would maybe think something about the other sex based on those. If you read Cosmopolitan magazine, I'm trying to think of examples for both men and women. I don't know that the messages in men's magazines represent exactly how I feel, not completely anyway. Mm-hmm. And so I'm guessing the same is true for the women's entertainment, like 50 Shades of Grey was considered a woman's movie and book. Not that there's no truth in it at all, but I think there's maybe something exaggerated, but we don't know that. Men don't know that it's exaggerated, and I don't think women realize it's exaggerated in the other direction. Does that sometimes cause problems in marriages, like an expectation of what we're supposed to do sexually?
Very good point. Well, two things. First of all, sir, you are a thinking individual, and my hope is that, we all are aware at some small or larger level that the information we're receiving from the media, and God bless the media, otherwise I wouldn't be on the show, but that we don't have to swallow the whole pill without thinking about it as to how it pertains to us and our own values. And the second part of that is, well, it's just like anything else, and I'm sorry, I'm not answering the second part of your question, I forgot it, but that, so it's identifying what's important to you and see if some of that fits or not. But you don't have to swallow it whole in terms of, oh, that's how I'm supposed to be. And yes, the answer to your question is that some of the biggest arguments were about Facebook, when I see couples, huge arguments. And secondly, it's also about, I had people come in and say, oh, People's Magazine, that lady is so happy. I go, come on. I go, it's just a magazine. I mean, it's a shallow, puffed up representation of what they want you to read and believe. But believe me, that person has thoughts and feelings and fears and insecurities just like you. And so some people are really, they stop thinking when they are looking at media or social media or looking at a magazine that's, kind of all show and glitz. And so that's a real dilemma, because then that means we stop thinking and we stop checking in with ourselves. And so intimacy is about not only with yourself, how am I doing today? What am I thinking today? Oh, gee, I was pretty in a good mood till 3 o'clock and then I got all uptight. Well, what happened at 3? What did I say to myself? Oh, yeah. And so getting a hold of that, because I'm a cognitive therapist about thoughts and feelings, and then being able to turn to your partner and say, how are you doing? This is what I'm thinking. And having a dialogue and really checking in. I'll just make it quick, but I had one couple on the couch. They had 3 little kids, 6, 3, and 1, and I was teaching them how to talk to each other in the present. And I said, that's an intimate moment. And they looked at each other, and they looked at me, and looked at each other, and I go, what? What are you looking at? And they go, we don't think we've ever been intimate in the way that you're describing, even when we were in college and before we had the kids. So people are rushing around doing ballet lessons and soccer and going to work and texting, and nobody's looking at each other.
Wow, and I think that's really, really true. By the way, we had a phone call, and if you were trying to call through, go ahead. The number is 622-9622. Just stay on hold. You won't hear anybody say hello until I say you're on the air. Just so you know.
How much of a role does finances play? Because sometimes both spouses work, and then they contribute monetarily. Sometimes one spouse works and the other one raises the children. And when there is a threat to split, who really takes charge of the money, or are they, able to do it equally? Yes.
Well, if it's a divorce, the attorney is going to get their hand out. But long story short, that's a value, and finances are a big deal. The more you can talk honestly about what you need, even for women that aren't working, that oftentimes it was agreed upon that, it was resentment, that she felt like she was asking with her hand out, and even though it was nothing to him, maybe he was very generous, she didn't like that feeling. So sometimes it's being able to work part-time and having your own pocket money.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's about having a joint account to pay all the bills, and then some separate accounts that both agreed upon, that she can have her own little, women like to have cosmetics and get their nails, do a little something extra, and she doesn't have to ask for it every time. So whether she's the breadwinner and he's not, or vice versa, that's a huge power play, or can be in the relationship, but not so much if you talk about it.
Doctor, when you are out in the world, I'm guessing this happens for you, there are a lot of men who are fond of you, and maybe a lot of men that you're fond of, but that doesn't mean there's a relationship between the two of you. If such a relationship causes jealousy in the marriage of you or your husband or any of the people you know, do you stay away from that? Do we sometimes cross the line in complimenting people? John Travolta the other day was on, I'm just using a celebrity because we all know him, but he was on I think it was on the Oscars, and he was kissing this woman. Now everybody says, when did he become our creepy uncle?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And I thought, I wonder what his wife thinks. Do we sometimes cross that line and maybe it's harmless, but we're causing problems?
Oh, well, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I'll give you an example. So I had one woman come into therapy, and she goes, that's it. She goes, and her husband was not there at the session. She goes, he was looking at porn, and she goes, I put Spycraft on his program, and he's doing this, and that's a deal breaker for me, and it's over. And so I processed with her, well, are you sure you want to do this? And how long have you been thinking about it? Have you told him? Just make sure you're clear on this. And she goes, that's a deal breaker for me. And interestingly enough, the next couple came in right after her, both attorneys, very, upper middle class, very conservative looking. And I said, how can I help you? Why are you here? And so it began to unfold. She goes, well, tell her while we're here. And so he started to say, and she goes, he's looking at porn. And I thought, oh my God, this is a repeat. And I'm listening. And their deal was she had no problems with him looking at porn. She did not want him to keep it a secret. And the deal was that they agreed that she'd get to sit with him and look at porn together. And she had found that he was looking at more porn without her, and then she felt that was cheating. And it was because it was their agreed upon, negotiated. So everybody, it's different stripes for different folks.
Wow.
But as long as you negotiate it and you're clear on it.
That sounds hot to me, though, watching it.
Yeah, and if you change your mind, you got to keep, talking about, I changed my mind, and negotiate that. You know what I mean?
Let's go to a phone call. Yeah, that sounds hot to me, Doctor. Just my own personal. Dr. Margot Brown is our guest. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for waiting for the doctor.
Yes, good morning, Doctor. A member of the family, a brother-in-law, is in the insurance field for several years, and he's got a chance for a very big advancement by moving to another city quite a few miles away. His wife is deadly against it. He keeps asking me for advice. I don't know what to tell the guy. He came up with an idea that he's going to take the job and then come back and forth on a weekly or bi-weekly basis back to the house where the woman is, the family is. Do you think a marriage could survive something like that?
It's a very good question, and the answer is it's up to that couple. And I hope that the same conversation he's having with you, he's having with his wife, and that she can settle down and not be angry, and they can think it through. I had one couple, and I'm not derailing from your topic, but one wanted to live on one side of the bay and the other on the other. And I thought, oh my God, we're going to have to build a house in the middle of the bay because I saw no resolution for them, and I was not helping them. And do you know that they figured it out? But it's really about the wife honoring his career and whether the finances are needed or not needed, and that he states his intention to her and say, I love you to death, and I know we can make this. And if she agreed to him being kind of a quasi-absent husband, but he was attentive and they communicated clearly when he was gone and when he came back and had family time and couple time, you'd be amazed at what couples can do for a long period of time. I think it's a challenge, and my hope is that they resolve a lot of it before he just goes and makes the break. But I would not say, oh, no, they'll never make that. I would say it's possible. But again, they have to be strong, and they have to have a good foundation that they're communicating clearly about how are they going to work through the pressures of being separated. If she's going to call him every 5 minutes and say, the sink's plugged up, come back here, this is why I didn't want you to move, that's not going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. That seems, well, there's really more information in this book than we could ever cover in an interview. So I have the book. Call me if you want the book. It's called Kickstart Your Relationship Now, Move On or Move Out. Dr. Margot E. Brown is the licensed marriage family therapist who wrote the book. So call me if you want the copy that was sent to us. The rest of us have to go buy it. Doctor, do you have a website you can tell us about?
Actually, I'm a little slow on the trigger, but the website's almost done. And definitely Amazon and Barnes & Noble online totally can get it. And you can get it in ebook as well. And I thank you very much. You guys are a wonderful show here. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. So 72-hour rule, that website that I have is not working right now?
No, I mean, that works, but I'm promoting this book, which is Kickstart Your Relationship.
Oh, I see.
Now.
I see. Okay, it's two different things. Okay. Well, thank you again for being with us. Stay warm up in New Orleans. If you get a chance, come down here. It's nice and warm down here.
I would love to see you. You're just a sweetheart. Thank you so much, and best luck to all your listeners.
Thank you. And call me right now if you want the book that Margot sent to us. We'll take a little break and we'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
This is James Snyder inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. An Islamic State terrorist known as Jihad John has been identified as a 26-year-old British national.
He's appeared in a number of videos holding American and British hostages with his face covered.
I'm back, Obama, because of your arrogant foreign policy towards the Islamic State.
Now the Washington Post and the BBC here in Britain identifying the man as Mohammed Emwazi, who was born in Kuwait but grew up in the UK and who comes from a prosperous family and has a degree in computer programming.
Fox News Radio's Simon Owen. Potential presidential candidates speaking at CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference in Maryland. Utah Senator Mike Lee's not running, but warns against wasting time on non-serious contenders.
It's not the media's fault. It's not the establishment's fault. It's our fault, and we can't let that happen.
10,000 people expected at this conference. Fox News, we report. You decide.
They say every healthy relationship should have a balance of predictability and spontaneity. In fact, it is that assurance of security that makes the spontaneous possible. Your relationship with your car should be a little like that too. With our industry-leading unlimited mileage warranty, your certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz instills a sense of confidence. You drive away knowing that you can keep driving for up to 3 years and never have to worry about the miles. Add to that our complimentary prepaid maintenance on select models, and your certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz becomes the ultimate carefree escape vehicle. Only during the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales event going on now through March 2nd can you receive your first 2 months payments on us on select models, plus 3 months of Sirius XM satellite radio. So hurry in today. It might just be the most predictable spur-of-the-moment decision you've ever made.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. The J.M. Smucker Company, the maker of the #1 peanut butter in America, said they are opening up a wide variety of new products across categories and platforms under its Jif and Smuckers in an effort to boost the iconic brand's worth to $1 billion each. Vince Bird, the COO, said that the new products will accelerate the growth of these well-known brands by leveraging their equity and heritage and by meeting consumers' desire for convenience, variety, and better-for-you nutrition. He said the company will expand the Jif brand into 2 new fast-growing categories, bars and peanut powder. He said with more than 70% of the households purchasing snack bars, we are leveraging our protein-rich Jif peanut butter to launch Jif bars to capitalize on the $5 billion industry and growing snack bar category. He said we're also excited about the new national brand to enter the peanut powder category, which is a smaller category but is growing quickly and is projected to move then to double-digit growth in the next 3 years. He said peanut powder has potential as an alternative to soy and whey protein powders that can be difficult to digest or harder to mask with a flavor. He said peanut generally tastes better and pairs well with chocolate, which explains 2 flavors launching, regular and chocolate peanut. The powder also touts less fat than peanut butter.
Can we bring it back, Doctor?
Yes, but we have to keep it covered, Igor.
Understood, Doctor.
And be sure to keep living roots in it throughout the year with diverse plants and rotations. And remember, do not disturb it.
Are you mad, Doctor?
No, just a little upset. I don't like to see soil treated like dirt.
Learn more about the basics and benefits of soil health. Contact your local USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service office today.
I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
On this episode of What Not to Do, brought to you by
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
The fire department? Why is the fire department coming up our driveway?
Don't look at me. He's your cousin.
Haha, Mr. Funny Man. What did you do now?
Well, we were attempting to repair the water heater, but somebody forgot to turn off the breaker.
Well, why is there water everywhere?
Apparently, the main water shutoff didn't exactly get shut off.
Okay, at what point did you realize you're not a plumber and you need to call Mike Scott Plumbing?
Right about the time we had the flood and the fire all at the same time.
And when should you have called the professionals at Mike Scott Plumbing? That's what I thought. Does water run through it? Then they do it. not you. And don't give me the weekend excuse. You know they don't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. Do you need the number?
No, I got it. 237-2888.
Again.
237-2888.
Why'd you call Cousin Sean anyway? You know he can't even fix his own lunch.
On next week's episode of What Not to Do.
Oh, come on, a monster truck?
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be mostly cloudy today with a couple of showers, even a thunderstorm around it this morning. Highs will range from the mid and upper 60s in the northwest part of the zone to 74 along the coast. Mostly cloudy skies tonight with a couple of lingering showers along the coast. Lows ranging from 45 in the northwest part of the zone to the mid-50s along the coast. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness and breezy with a passing shower, highs in the mid and upper 60s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Here are today's headlines from The Source, WOCA. Governor Rick Scott announced yesterday the distribution of more than $124 million in school recognition program funding across the state, and Central Florida's 9 school districts will see nearly $25 million of that money. Schools that get an A or improve their grade are eligible for the money. The governor's statement said, quote, "It's important to continue to provide our teachers and schools the resources they need to ensure our students are successful in the classroom. That's why I am excited to award more than $124 million in school recognition awards to help recognize schools for their success and help increase student achievement. During this year's legislative session, we will continue to invest in our K-12 classrooms by proposing record per student funding," unquote. The school's staff and advisory council at each school will jointly decide how to use the money. The amount awarded to Marion County schools is $1,042,366.87. Health officials in Volusia County are reporting that 3 cases of leprosy have been diagnosed in that county and is believed to be spread by armadillos. The Volusia County Health Department said the cases are not related. 2 of the patients may have gotten the infection from armadillos, according to the report, specifically the 9-banded armadillo, which are known to carry the disease. Leprosy, also known as Hansen's disease, mainly affects the skin, nerves, and mucous membranes, leading to painful, even disfiguring sores, muscle weakness, loss of feeling in the limbs, and permanent nerve damage. However, the disease is easily treatable, especially if caught early. According to the Centers for Disease Control, there are about 100 new cases of leprosy reported in the United States each year. The Citrus County Sheriff's Office is reporting that a suspect wanted in Marion County was shot yesterday by deputies in Citrus County. The suspect is identified as 44-year-old Stephen DeGennaro. The report states that when deputies attempted to serve a warrant, DeGennaro attempted to flee in a vehicle and hit a deputy and his canine dog. Deputies fired shots at DeGennaro at approximately 11:30 yesterday morning in the town of Hernando. DeGennaro was brought to Ocala Regional Medical Center and was listed in fair condition. DeGennaro was wanted on charges of residential burglary, aggravated battery, grand theft auto, and 2 other counts of grand theft. According to the Marion County Sheriff's Office, he had broken into a home in Dunellen when 2 men who lived at the home arrived home and found him. And the Marion County Sheriff's Office is reporting the arrests of a 29-year-old man and a 29-year-old woman charged with child neglect after allegedly locking an 8-year-old boy and a 9-year-old boy in a room without access to a bathroom and then forcing them to wear soiled underwear on their heads. The report states that the man is the father of the 2 boys, but the woman is not their mother. 2 other boys were also living in the home, but it was not determined that they have been victimized by the couple. The Department of Children and Families have removed all 4 children from the home and transported them to Kimberly's Center for Child Protection. The U.S. Supreme Court has overturned the conviction of a Florida fisherman charged with throwing fish overboard. 62-year-old John Yates was arrested in August of 2007 after Florida Wildlife Commission officials alleged that he threw 3 undersized grouper overboard. The Fish and Wildlife Commission officer said he counted 72 undersized illegal grouper among the 3,000 pounds of fish and instructed Yates to hold onto the illegal fish. 4 days later, however, the returning officer only counted 69 illegal grouper. Yesterday, the U.S. Supreme Court voted 5-4 to overturn the conviction. And those are the headlines from The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be mostly cloudy today with a couple of showers, even a thunderstorm around it this morning. Highs will range from the mid and upper 60s in the northwest part of the zone to 74 along the coast. Mostly cloudy skies tonight with a couple of lingering showers along the coast. Lows ranging from 45 in the northwest part of the zone to the mid-50s along the coast. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness and breezy with a passing shower. Highs in the mid and upper 60s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
All right, 10 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. You know, I think some of our guests have had snow problems. I'm looking at the weather. Did you know they call the winter storm that is happening elsewhere in the country? Right now, it's kind of hard to even imagine it because it's so nice here. But the winter storm is being called Remus, R-E-M-U-S. And according to, and you know, we spoke to some of the meteorologists at weather.gov, the National Weather Service, and they basically said that the naming of winter storms is something that the Weather Channel has done, not something that has been agreed upon by all meteorologists as the naming of hurricanes had been at one time, well still are. But you remember when they made the decision to have every other hurricane named with a male name and every other hurricane with the female name, following the years and years where every hurricane had only a female name, and I guess some people were upset with that. Well, anyway, so now we have winter storms getting names, and I think even though it sounded like the weather.gov people were not necessarily in agreement with that whole decision, I'm just guessing this will catch on and they'll be talking about these names eventually as well. But anyway, so Winter Storm Remus, according to the Weather Channel, continuing to bring snow to parts of the mid-Atlantic through the first part of today. The storm will also brush the northeast coastline, so I guess there's snow happening as we speak. Yesterday evening, Remus delivered, it's a funny name, isn't it? Delivered a swath of snow across the south from northeast Texas to North Carolina. Up to 10 inches of heavy wet snow fell in northern Alabama from Winter Storm Remus, causing localized tree damage, power outages. Snow totals of 6 inches or more have been reported in southern Arkansas, northern Mississippi, northern Georgia, and North Carolina. And it looks like some of it may even bring some more rain here, although the temperatures aren't going to be dropping drastically. Not here, just maybe slightly cooler. Possible that this is our guest right here. I'm not really sure. Let's check in and see who's calling. Good morning. Thank you for calling. Is this Adan Gonzalez?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay. Is this Adan right now, or are you a publicist? Adan? Good morning. Well, I thought I had somebody on the phone. Is anybody there?
Yeah, good morning.
Oh, is this Adan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, good morning. Thank you for calling in. We're starting a little bit late with the segment, but I understand that you're the winner of the Coors Light Leader of the Year Award.
That is correct, sir.
Well, good for you. Where are you calling from?
I am calling you from Dallas, Texas.
How's Dallas right now? You got snow?
I haven't looked out the window, but I think we are supposed to get some snow. It's pretty sunny.
Oh, okay.
But, eventually we'll get some snow, probably during the day.
Okay, well, we've only got a short period of time to cover the topic, but it sounds like you've got some information. Are you a Latino?
Yes, sir. Very proud Latino.
Excellent. And you won the award. Did you write an essay? How did you get the award?
So the award, well, the Coors Light program itself is a nomination process. I got nominated from the city of Dallas and then enter a contest, and from there it was basically a week competition of votes, and I received the most votes.
Okay, and your topic is the importance of education?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no question about it. It's an important thing, especially in today's world. It's the education, but it's also the the stigma of non-education. You know how people don't have the degree often have a stigma, even though they're very bright.
No, absolutely. It's all about finding potential and seeking it.
Yeah, well, good for you. And so how are you taking that message is beyond the radio shows like this? Are you publishing things?
So I have my nonprofit, the Si Se Puede Network, and that's a platform that we are constantly using to promote our different projects that we do. And I mean, besides that, I go around the country and speak to high schools, community events, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Oh, well, excellent. And so you're scheduled to go on tour soon, or have you been doing it already?
I've been doing it for the past 3 years.
And you're a boxer. It says here you're on the boxing team.
I am in the USA. So I've been boxing for about 9 years now. Recently won the collegiate national title.
Okay. Well, Adon, thank you for being on the air with us. I know it's very brief, but because of other commitments, we have to say goodbye. Can you give us a website?
The website is CoorsLightLíderes.com.
Coors Light Leader. Okay.
Yes.
Leader S.
Yeah, Lideres.
Okay. Adon, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're welcome to come back anytime. I just, whatever happened, we figured you were kind of caught up in the weather or something. But thank you for being on the air with us today.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll be right back.
Cookies, 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 cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. That's right. The Great American Cookie Company in the Paddock Mall, Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. You might notice that I said fun and delicious more than once. That's because I can't say it enough. The next time you're at the mall, be sure and stop by or call 352-237-2557 to place your order.
Cookies, cookies,
Yum.
cookies, cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
The Great American Cookie Company.
Guy Harvey Checking is now exclusively available at Gateway Bank. With Guy Harvey Checking, you will receive Gateway's premium checking account plus several other Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation features, including membership to the Guy Harvey Hammerhead Nation, free Guy Harvey t-shirt, and an exclusive Guy Harvey debit card. At Gateway Bank, we will make a $50 donation to the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation for every new account opened. This is just one more reason why people choose Gateway Bank. Sign up today for your exclusive Guy Harvey checking account with Gateway. Details available at gatewaybankcfl.com, member FDIC.
Hi, Danny Werfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
WWWOCA, WWWOCA.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com.
The most trusted name in news, Fox News, every half hour, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
WOCA.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. The J.M. Smucker Company, the maker of the #1 peanut butter in America, said they are opening up a wide variety of new products across categories and platforms under its Jif and Smuckers in an effort to boost the iconic brand's worth to $1 billion each. Vince Bird, the COO, said that the new products will accelerate the growth of these well-known brands by leveraging their equity and heritage and by meeting consumers' desire for convenience, variety, and better-for-you nutrition. He said the company will expand the Jif brand into 2 new fast-growing categories, bars and peanut powder. He said with more than 70% of the households purchasing snack bars, we are leveraging our protein-rich Jif peanut butter to launch Jif bars to capitalize on the $5 billion industry and growing snack bar category. He said we're also excited about the new national brand to enter the peanut powder category, which is a smaller category but is growing quickly and is projected to move then to double-digit growth in the next 3 years. He said peanut powder has potential as an alternative to soy and whey protein powders that can be difficult to digest or harder to mask with a flavor. He said peanut generally tastes better and pairs well with chocolate, which explains 2 flavors launching, regular and chocolate peanut. The powder also touts less fat than peanut butter.
Can we bring it back, Doctor?
Yes, but we have to keep it covered, Igor.
Understood, Doctor.
And be sure to keep living roots in it throughout the year with diverse plants and rotations. And remember, do not disturb it.
Are you mad, Doctor?
No, just a little upset. I don't like to see soil treated like dirt.
Learn more about the basics and benefits of soil health. Contact your local USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service office today.
I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
On this episode of What Not to Do, brought to you by
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
The fire department? Why is the fire department coming up our driveway?
Don't look at me. He's your cousin.
Haha, Mr. Funny Man. What did you do now?
Well, we were attempting to repair the water heater, but somebody forgot to turn off the breaker.
Well, why is there water everywhere?
Apparently, the main water shutoff didn't exactly get shut off.
Okay, at what point did you realize you're not a plumber and you need to call Mike Scott Plumbing?
Right about the time we had the flood and the fire all at the same time.
And when should you have called the professionals at Mike Scott Plumbing? That's what I thought. Does water run through it? Then they do it, not you. And don't give me the weekend excuse. You know they don't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. Do you need the number?
No, I got it. 237-2888.
Again.
237-2888.
Why'd you call Cousin Sean anyway? You know he can't even fix his own lunch.
On next week's episode of What Not to Do.
Oh, come on, a monster truck?
Ocala.